Well, hello everybody. Here we are once again on your magnificent Tuesday. You are here with the vidIQ crew for another Tuesday channel on it, channel review live stream. Now, before we jump into this, I do want to say it is hot right now. Really, really hot. I can show you from my temperature gauge that it is 30 degrees. That is Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So it's not freezing. It is mid 80s, I think, if you're in the US. So do let us know where you are in the world and how warm it is right now, because it is heating up, which means that we're going to have some hot, feisty action when it comes to our channel audits. But of course, I cannot do this without my trusty co-host, who always joins me. Sometimes he hosts, sometimes he co-hosts. Last week he did a phenomenal job stepping in while I was away. But we should also remember that it has been a little while since we've discussed this little topic. And so I bring to you the magnificent gaming expert, channel reviewer, who, as I understand it, has never seen the original Jurassic Park movie. So we're going to check in with Dan the man once again. Have you seen it yet?
Seen what?
Okay, great. Dan, as ever, compliance for all of us. Let me just change the background there. Also, random thing to kick this off. We were just discussing just before we went live. I said to Dan, gladiators ready. And he was completely confused. He didn't have a clue what I was talking about. He assumed I was maybe talking about the film. And so maybe this is an age thing. But Dan, just to confirm, you do not remember the Gladiators television series?
No.
So what it was like an athletic competition where two contestants, both male and female, would do different challenges, get points and things, and accrue points, and then at the end they'd go on this assault course, and there'd be time differences determined by the points. And the people who were trying to stop them during the tasks and the games, like jousting and climbing on ropes, were called the gladiators. And you have no idea about this at all.
No.
Wow. Okay. Well,
does anybody? Does it?
Yeah, I hope. I mean, people. Yeah, thank you. Back me up here. Maybe this is dating me and not you. But at the beginning of every round, the referee would say, "Contestants, are you ready?"
That's like every game
show. Gladiators, are you ready? And in the UK, there was a Scottish referee, so it was always gladiators, are you ready? There's probably about 3 people in the room right now going, yes, Rob, I remember that. And everyone else is thinking, why does he sound Australian? Something along those lines. Anyway, but yeah, it is a classic. And those are the kind of random self-indulgent things that you will experience throughout this live stream. But yeah, maybe we do need to get into channel audits. Before we get into channel audits, Dan, is there any random stuff you want to add to this conversation? Also, we just show the intro.
I think you've taken any randomness I could have added to this, and you've just... you've confused everybody. I don't need to add to that.
Roger that. Here's the intro. This is your weekly YouTube channel audit live stream. All you need to do is use the correct link in the description, fill out the form, and we'll consider your channel for review. That's right, channel reviews are free, but you can send us a super chat and watch us discuss your question live on air. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We will share with you our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a massive shout out and thanks to our moderators who do an awesome job every single live stream. And that's your onboarding done. What channels have you brought us this week? Do still have time to fill out the forms to be picked later on in the live stream. The housekeeping, as always, as one just comes through right now, is we encourage super chats, and we will be discussing them a little later on. Questions about YouTube in general are very much welcome. But Dan, I can't think of any other ways to waste everyone's time. So shall we just get into some channel auditing?
Yeah.
Or do you want to see how many subscribers we've got? Because I've got to tell everybody.
Oh yeah.
Remember,
we're beating Ford yet?
Yeah. Well, let's look. It is a bit blurry, but I can confirm that we have 1,886,256 subscribers right now. We're on the way to 2 million. We're hoping to hit that by the end of the year. And the Ford Motor Company are around about 300,000 to 400,000 subscribers ahead, and we want to beat them as rapidly and as efficiently as possible. But in the meantime, we've got to earn our keep, and that is by auditing some channels. So, Dan, I present to you the first channel that's submitted this week on the forums in the non-gaming category, and they go by the name of ASMR by Debbie. Oh. So we all know what ASMR means, but I bet none of you can actually, off the top of your head, give you an acronym. Because I can't remember what it is.
I don't either.
But it's sound. It's this type of thing that kind of gets you tingling and whatever. And that's the extent of my ASMR. So Dan, let's see where we are with ASMR by Debbie. 1,300 subscribers. Plenty of videos already. 400 or so far. Give us your initial assessment here. What we're looking at.
Definitely has a lot to do with hair and scalp.
Yep. That's a sub niche, isn't it?
Yeah, which is interesting. I've not seen that before. I think you can take a lot of different things and kind of give them an ASMR spin. So I'm not too surprised by that. I could definitely see how the sound of combing hair could be okay. Demonic Fox is showing off. All right, that's fine. It's
going to be a bit of a challenge for me as well there, the combing of a hair, but yeah. Slight dig, slight insult. I'll accept that.
I wasn't trying to. No, I was trying to dig at you. I'm sorry.
Kind of feels like it was. Continue.
No, I was just saying the sound of combing hair. I can see that being. So
you just said it again, just to remind me.
You must know somebody with hair who combs it sometimes. I'm sure you've heard the sound of hair.
So my wife has a. I'm only saying this just in case Sarah's listening. My wife has very curly hair, so it sounds like whenever she combs.
Okay. All right, I get now why you're confused. I rest assured that it's a sound that I think people would probably consider. Oh yeah, I could see how that'd be ASMR. In any case, this is very interesting. I don't know how much you want me to dig in here, but I will say that the one thing that immediately jumps out at me is the lighting in these. A little bit all over the place.
That point.
And the text, very difficult to read pretty much throughout.
So, if we focus on this one, the light is just reflecting off the comb, so you can't really see. I mean, you can see at a glance what it is, but it just doesn't have that, I guess, vibrancy and punch. And I guess similar to photography and tech channels, you expect a certain quality, admittedly on the audio side, but that kind of does fall into it's a bit similar to mukbang. I would say that there's usually a very a very visual welcoming on the thumbnail, Dan. I know you're looking a bit confused. But
you're talking about rubbing food in hair, and this is about
no. I'm talking about the visual, the visual sense part of the thumbnail.
So I think tacos would create a really big mess, and tacos are a keyword that I think you could go after.
We're both not really taking this very seriously, are we? We're just using this as a platform for our own jokes.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
This is a better thumbnail, though, isn't it? Because this is more visually immediately engaging to the viewer. Whereas, with this one, there might be just a semi-second way figuring out what's going on with the thumbnails.
Yeah, the darker ones for sure. It's kind of hard to tell what we're supposed to be displaying to the audience. That second one, I agree. That one definitely feels more to the point, and it's not surprising to me when I look at it. 1.7K views on that one, bit of an outlier there, which is pretty cool. 4 hours, maybe that has something to do with it as well.
Yeah, I think that's the next question, isn't it? Could there be potential to do more of these marathon session ASMRs, which are almost designed actually for people to, I guess in this sense, fall asleep to them? And where the Spiffing Brit recently called this sleep watch time, where you purposely have a long video that somebody falls asleep to, and then they carry on listening to it when they're not actually conscious anymore.
Yeah.
But it can kind of do interesting things to the viewer's watch history and then future suggestions.
I think that was the intent, given the emoji they put at the end of it. I think that was their hope, is that people will fall asleep listening to that.
Looking at the titles, relaxing ASMR, sitting outside and brushing my hair, enjoying the sounds of nature, soothing ASMR hair brushing and combing with a jade comb, and then a pipe, relaxing sounds for stress relief. What do you think to these titles, Dan? I know usually we would say they're too long. There's a bit of keyword stuffing, but I don't know. Maybe there's a need for this in the ASMR world. Maybe. Similar to like music, where you want to define what the genre is, and then almost have like a second title after that.
I see a lot of experimentation going on with some of these titles. Like you have ASMR scalp massage for deep relaxation, but then after that is experience the ultimate serenity. ASMR scalp massage using it kind of that double title thing going on there, and they're getting some interesting results when they try these things. So I don't know. I don't, because I don't know this genre really at all. I always encourage a bit of experimentation with titles and stuff until you kind of start to tap into the ones that work really well. And the only way to do that is to test different title styles for a period of time, and then collect data like after you have a lot of it. Now, this channel has a lot of videos, and so I assume they have a lot of data on a lot of different types of titles now, and they can start to nail those down. It's not only gonna be titles. I really do think the 4-hour video has more to do with the thumbnail and the fact that it's 4 hours than the title itself. The title's simple. It's nice. But I think all the pieces are working together in that one. And it's from 13 days ago. Like that one's going to continue getting a lot of views.
Yeah, so Dan is kind of alluding here to maybe myself and Dan's lack of specific knowledge in the ASMR world, and that's fine. That's totally fine. We can't be experts everywhere. But what we have noticed is some like fundamentals, the thumbnails, and then like potential titling issues. But what we've also identified is what Dan rightly pointed out here was the outlier. So this is something that the vidIQ tool has completely free, where it shows you that this video is performing almost double the average of a channel, or 1.7. But I think Dan and I agree that this has massive potential. But this is an interesting concept in itself, the outlier. And what I'm going to show you now is something pretty interesting that we have just brought into the vidIQ tool sets. And it is called outliers. So we will just get back to the beginning here. And I just want to show you how this works from the very beginning. I'll let the screen reload here as we're just practicing with this tool beforehand. Now, it's in the vidIQ web app. And what it will show you for your channel is content that's relevant to you. So for us, it's all YouTube growth stuff. And what it's telling me here is that this channel with 3,800 subscribers has had a 20,000 view video, which is incredible. And it's a 54 times outlier. That means that the video has performed more than 50 times the average for that channel, which is incredible. But for ASMR by Debbie, that's not going to be much use. So what we'll do is we'll put in a search for hair ASMR. And this is just now going to look at outliers for that particular topic. And you saw how quickly it loaded up there. So it's giving us plenty of potential thumbnail ideas, title ideas, video ideas for this channel, which is incredible. And, you know, Debbie could scroll through these and look at a particular one and say, yeah, that seems like a brilliant idea to me. I'm going to tackle that. But the other thing that we have to consider is that Debbie's channel is relatively small, 1,300 subscribers. So what we can do here is click on the filters and let's get down into Debbie's zone of interest, like a relatively small channel, hair ASMR. Let's apply that filter. And now we have some interesting results. This channel here made a video 3 weeks ago. They have 2,000 subscribers. So they're in the really similar channel size of our hero channel. And they've done an ASMR, hair play, real person, no talking, hair brushing, long. So Dan, it looks as if long titles are like a theme in this genre.
Yeah.
Click on the video, find a little bit more information. It's still getting a lot of views per hour. You know, this could be a really interesting idea for the creator to take and reimagine in their own ASMR universe. And we can also click into the channel. And now we've got an idea of a channel that's, you know, of a very similar size, but whereas the hero channel is getting typically 1,000 views or less, I would say, maybe sometimes a little more than 1,000 views. This very similar channel, very similar size, is constantly getting thousands of views per video. And this is a very similar channel, very similar size. So again, what ideas, thumbnail concepts can I take from this channel and apply to my own. I notice here that, for example, this channel video length is between 20 and 30 minutes, which might be an interesting video length. Whereas here, it tends to average a little less, maybe 10 to 20 minutes. So that's another thought. I know I've kind of given the whole outlier tool outline there, experience. But I think you also added a really good point to this when we were discussing beforehand, how you might use this tool.
It's really great because YouTube search, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but going into regular YouTube search these days, it doesn't take long for it to get back to other recommendations. It's like, okay, you've scrolled past enough search results now to where it looks like you're bored. Here's some other stuff going on YouTube. And this has been kind of, I think, a frustration with like doing research on the search bar. We run into it all the time here when we're doing this live stream. So this is great because this gets back to just, if you're doing research, if you are a YouTube creator in research mode, going into a search bar that isn't going to distract you with different recommendations, and it just gets down to the topic itself. It's like, okay, you are looking for ASMR about hair. Here's just those videos, and here is how they're performing relative to the channel size. And this is important too. You don't want this tool to tell you how it's performing relative to your channel or relative to the biggest channels. How is it doing relative to itself? Because every channel is on a different trajectory. Every channel is a little bit different from the next channel. So when you see a channel that has 1.8K subscribers, but a video with 34,000 views in less than a month, you know that this person is onto something. And if that person, like, it's relevant in the sense that they've hit a topic. Like a channel with so few quote unquote subscribers got so many views. That is noteworthy. So that's why I love this tool, and I do think it takes the time you spend researching and just boils it down to like way less time, so you can get back to like making videos.
You saw all of the results that were there as I scrolled down. There must have been at least a dozen, if not more, all ideas on that particular topic. So if you want to try it, there is a QR code on screen now. You can try and scan that, or there is a link in the description that will get you to the download and install screen for vidIQ if you haven't got it already. And do it anyway, even if you're not too interested in this outliers tool, because we do have something coming up a little later, which you'll definitely want to get involved in. But I'm going to just hold back on that and keep it a bit of a secret for a little longer. Dan, thank you for observing ASMR by Debbie. Let's move on to the next channel. This is the first gaming channel. And I think this one might be a lot more in your wheelhouse, because you've mentioned this several times in a discussion that we'll have very soon after this channel audit. Midnight Gaming, and from what I can see from the thumbnails, they are a Diablo 4 channel predominantly.
Yeah.
And they have some outliers here. Again, the vidIQ tool really helping us out here with this one of 14,000 views. Incredible. But then we also have videos that have just 70 views on the same topic. So they're peaking all over the place. Again, your initial thoughts.
So I can see why the build videos are doing so well. If you are not a Diablo player, don't worry. I'll try and explain this in a way anyone can understand. Games like this involve like a lot of really technical stats when it comes to a character. So there are whole websites built for doing the right build of a character. And you might say, well, that doesn't sound very fun. And yeah, to some people it's not. But to people like me who play this game, what I understand is I need to use someone's expert knowledge to make sure I have the easiest time with the character I'm creating. I don't want to waste my time trying gear that isn't going to work. So there are whole websites dedicated to just giving you like builds. And in those websites are even YouTube videos showing you how to use the build and things like that. But what I've noticed about those websites is that you feel very limited. There's only per class like a handful of builds you can do. So if this person is going out and inventing their own builds, like they're doing the research part and they're figuring out, okay, the website maxroll.gg is telling me I could do these 6 necromancer builds, but are there more that offer different types of gameplay and are more fun? And there might be. And so they're going in and potentially, I don't know, I haven't watched these videos, potentially they are coming up with their own builds, testing them out, and then presenting them in a video, which is so much work. That's what I'm trying to explain right now. It is so much work because every piece of gear, every skill in the game has to be optimized a certain way for these to work and for them to do a lot of damage and really clear out dungeons. So when they do a build guide, it takes off. But as you can imagine, doing that all the time probably takes a ton of time. And they're going to come to a point where they're like, holy crap, like I can't do a build guide this month. Like I've covered all the bases I care to cover right now. So they have to do some other things to keep their channel active. And what they've decided to do is, okay, fine, I'm going to give other tips and tricks. How to unlock a pet in the game. That video didn't do super well. I understand the concept. I look at the title and thumbnail. I totally get it. Why didn't it do well? Potentially, maybe that's just too easy. Maybe the game does a good enough job explaining how to unlock that pet. I don't know. I'm kind of out of the loop a little bit with Diablo right now, so I don't know
Sure.
where those pets came from, when they came from, but maybe the game did a really good job explaining them. So they're just not, doing as well. That is where I would look at other channels covering Diablo, covering Last Epoch, covering any kind of, action RPG to see the types of content they're making. There are so many channels like this that you can like model after if you were looking for ideas. And it does seem like this person is really, really focused on tips, which is cool. It might be time to try some different content types because unless they're doing, it looks like whenever they do a build guide, they're good. Whenever they do something else, not so good. And so I would want to test even more content types to try and fill out my channel a little bit more.
Well, what about this, Dan? And you'll like this because usually I'm a bit of the anti quality type of production. What if they just remove all of the non-build videos, and there might be a more of a break between each video. It might be every 2 weeks, every month, but each one is just like an absolute banger of a build video for Diablo 4.
That could be like maybe you don't need to do these videos that are getting you like 40 views. If you sense that it's just not going to do as well as the stuff that's worked in the past, you can absolutely take more time on your videos. Tons of channels are doing that. But if you just have to make something, right? Maybe it's a matter of, well, what if I get tired of looking at different Diablo builds? There's other things you could do. You could do builds for Last Epoch. You could do builds for Path of Exile. I'm trying to think of other ones. Those are like the two other really strong competitors. So you can kind of take this skill set, assuming they are inventing these builds and not just like taking them from like max roll and then just copy pasting them. Maybe you're presenting them a different way. I don't know. I'm just going to assume you're doing the work. So the other games offer a lot of technicality when it comes to this stuff, and they could do that. I followed. I think they've changed their name, I think, or at least they have other channels. Darth Microtransaction. They cover Diablo a lot, really big time, but they've also played RuneScape. They've also played other things, and so I think in this space, there's like a lot of different games that you could be focused on. And that's different advice for me. Normally I would say, no, if you're going to focus on one game for a bit, that's great. That's a good way to grow. But I'm thinking about this from the perspective of this person seems to like to make a lot of videos. So what can they do to like keep themselves active while also making sure that when they post a video, it gets a decent amount of views? Because the 67 views when you're enjoying like 14K the previous video has to be so frustrating.
Very briefly, thumbnails. I think we can sum it up as TMI. Each thumbnail perhaps has a bit too much information. The thumbnails are dark and they're kind of flat, so there's no contrast between foreground and background. Like, if we were to give this creator one piece of thumbnail advice, Dan, what do you think they would start with?
I do think there's a lot of information in these that doesn't need to be there. Do you need the Diablo 4 logo? Maybe, because these games are kind of dark and gritty. They tend to look similar.
Yeah.
So I would look at other build guides on YouTube, see what they look like, and take a couple pages of their book. Like the lighting in these, I get Diablo's a dark game, but there are ways to brighten up these thumbnails. And I just think that the other Diablo channels I've seen are managing to do a pretty decent job at conveying a clear message and working with the game's very dark environment in ways that look pretty good. So I would say just general thumbnail improvement wouldn't be a bad thing.
And just to show you the versatility of a tool we mentioned a few moments ago, I was doing a quick outlier tool search for Diablo 4 builds. And again, these are channels of less than, I think, 2,000 subscribers and videos in the last 6 months. Now, interestingly, I think our hero, Midnight Gaming, ranks here already. So they do have their own outlier success.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's the type of flagship standard bearer thumbnail of quality for a channel of their size in the build Diablo 4 topic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of text on that thumbnail on the left, but it's easier to read and it's bright. It's going to stand out. This game, like you can see with some of these other thumbnails, like on the ones on the right are dark, and they're going to kind of like settle in a little bit more on the page. And these other ones on the left that are more bright. So yeah, I love the one below it too. Diablo 4 boring and you know, wasting your time. Like that's cool too. I think that fits in with the advice for the game. It doesn't have to be just build guides. There's other ways to give advice on games like this.
So again, give that outlier tool a try because it's pretty phenomenal. As we can see, like we're just doing, it was like bare bones searches and it's giving us results within seconds. Let's move on, Dan, to the next channel. And this is one that you conjured up from the form. TooMuchESP. My first question, I'm hoping, Dan, you're just going to jump in there with the immediate answer, is what on earth does ESP mean?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Help us out in the chat.
I was going to say, like, if that's in the titles, which it doesn't look like it is, just keep in mind, like, a lot of people may not know what that means. It's maybe a little too technical. Maybe it's your initials. I don't know. But yeah, I checked the about section. I use ESPs as microcontrollers. I think that takes like a level of insider knowledge that the audience shouldn't need to have. Okay, consider it this way: the cool stuff you're doing with these videos could be viewed by someone like me who has no technical know-how like this. But maybe I would enjoy seeing someone build something that does a thing, right? Think Michael Reeves, for example, who uses all of their technical know-how and ability to make just wacky inventions. You know, I think the latest video was like building a car made of scooters, you know. That takes a really big level of like experience and technical know-how to actually pull off, but it's a fun concept and a lot of people watched it. So I made a game controller panel as a gift. That doesn't look like anything in terms of like what am I supposed to get out of this picture, right? Like it looks like it's homemade and that's cool, but you're saying it's a game control panel. Why not do a thumbnail that has like maybe hands holding it or something, has it in its natural habitat with a TV in the background and a game on the screen, you know, like.
And I think focusing on this, I think those flip switches or whatever always look cool.
Yeah.
And like, is that like the beat the final boss button or something cool? And like, well, you don't tell people what it is in a thumbnail, but you kind of point to it and say, this is something interesting on the controller. But yeah, I agree, Dan, that right now it just kind of looks a bit like an engineering feat or something a bit scientific. And, you know, to make it more accessible, you want that action moment of them using a controller in a game.
Yeah. And I would say for all of these, you're showing the thing on your workbench, which is a very easy picture to take, but can you go the next step and try to get a little more action in these? Because I think that's what you're going to need if you want people to be more interested in these videos. I made my family go crazy with this DIY Wi-Fi controller control buzzer. Okay, that sounds like a fun video is about to take place, but you're only showing this very weird looking contraption. So why not do a kind of funny thumbnail of you pranking someone with it? I don't know what that looks like, but
where's the family? How do they react to it?
Right, like they're all sitting in the living room and like you have like an arrow, you're holding it in your hand, you have an arrow pointing at like a button that's gonna like turn out the lights or something, and the text on the screen says what it's gonna do, rather than just it being like a wacky looking contraption you made. You know, homemade contraptions are inherently cool if you can explain to the layman like myself what it is they do, and you need to explain that with the title and the thumbnail. The thumbnail has, if you're going to say you're driving your family crazy, the thumbnail has to demonstrate that in some way, or support that in some way. And so that's really where this channel needs to like be thinking.
I think this is an example of a channel where the packaging has a lot of a what, but to make a casual viewer care, there needs to be a why attached to it. Okay, you made a game controller as a game control panel as a gift. Okay, that's a what, but why should I care? Now, in saying that, Dan, they have 5 videos. Each of them has cracked 100. So I think that's like something to celebrate. But my guess is these videos take a long time to make because there's the build element of the contraption itself, which takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So they're investing a lot of non-YouTubey stuff here before they actually, I guess, make the video or like get the passion into a video. I don't know what's the fix here. They make more shorts out of this, or like before they start, they have to really nail down this packaging, this idea, the title and the thumbnail, because right now you're probably not selling the hero enough for us to get interested.
Yeah, I actually just agree with that. I think they have a really cool skill set. I've said this before, and I still stand by this. If YouTube is the part that you're struggling with, you're in a good place. Meaning, this person has the ability to make cool things with their hands, and YouTube is the part where they're still trying to get things kind of figured out for themselves. So you are doing this purely out of passion. You already have a really valuable skill set. Now you just got to figure out the YouTube part, and that's a really good place to be. So with the YouTube part, so let's look at this for a bit. Yeah, as you're scrubbing through it, we can see that's really, really, really build focused. Is there any point where they hook it up to a TV?
Yeah, I don't think there is. I'm trying to find that, but like when I scroll through it.
Yes, now you cannot use my suggestion, because if you were to put it in a thumbnail environment where it's hooked up to a TV and there's a game on the screen, now you're lying to the viewer. So you can't do that. So what this video could be like, you already have the controller. You said you gave it away as a gift. So maybe you could do this over, maybe make a different type of controller if you have another idea, right? Like I would take another stab at this idea. And what I would do is structure it more around an entire overarching story where you emphasize the problem first. It's you playing a game with a standard Xbox controller or whatever, and you're just like, this thing, like, this is way too many buttons. I don't need this many buttons to play this game. So instead of confusing my brain with all these buttons, today I'm going to make a controller that has exactly what I need for this one game. Why? Because I feel like it, or I can, or whatever. It could be funny, right? Like that's very dumb because it's only going to work for one game, but maybe that's why it's funny. So now you've emphasized that you have a quote problem. Now you make the controller, and maybe the build is, as long as a couple minutes, and you're talking about maybe you do a little bit of a vlog where you take your phone into the store where you buy this stuff, and you're like, I'm trying to find the specific part. Like, you put it all together, and it's this cool part of the video where you actually build the thing, and then you test it out. Maybe there's a problem with it. You go back to the workbench to fix it. Like, there's so many things that could happen in that video. And then by the end, you have a controller that plays this one game really, really well. And, that's it. That's the video. But to me, I feel like you could probably do that. It seems like you have the technical skill set to do it. And it's now about the storytelling element of of the whole video. And then once you have that awesome video, the packaging writes itself. That now it's really easy to think of a thumbnail, because what are you doing? You are making a custom controller for a game. So now game controller in hands, TV in the background playing some game that people kind of recognize. Boom. So yes, I know I'm going off on a wild tangent here.
I'll give Dan a knowledge bomb.
Okay,
there for all of that.
Just to put a bow on it. Like, I went off a wild tangent. I respect that this creator might not want to do content like that, but I feel like it would be a slam dunk, because I've seen channels do stuff like this, and there's a lot of channels you could look at to model, yourself after, and like take inspiration from. So I don't know. That's the part that's missing for me, is like you showed making the thing, but if you're going to say I drove my family crazy, there better be a part of the video where you're driving your family crazy.
All right, Dan.
Uh-oh.
See the background change.
I did something wrong. I feel like I'm getting called to the principal's office.
Nope. What we're doing now is, I've actually forgotten to do something else as well. So first of all, I'm going to play the music here. I'm going to remove that. We completely forgot to talk about self-indulgent gaming corner. Like,
oh no!
Every single week, Dan is so disappointed that I forgot to do this. Like, every time I'm in charge of a live stream after the first gaming channel, I ask all of you what video game you're playing right now, because we have a lot of gamers here. And if you're not into gaming and you use some other passion or hobby as a downtime from YouTube, what is that? So do let us know in the comments. I always throw this question to Dan first, and he kind of gives me a vague response, or playing the same game over and over again. Is that the case this week, Dan?
I've actually been playing. I've been playing a bit of Final Fantasy 14, the MMO. It's something I've tried to get into in the past, and then recently a bunch of friends got into it. I couldn't do it before. Now, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you mad. I discovered how I can enjoy Final Fantasy. Skip all the cutscenes. Skip all of them. Don't pay attention to the main story at all. It's the most fun I've ever had playing the game, because people tell me this is a good story, you'll love it. Like, I don't. I think I love that it's there for the people who like it, but I've realized a long time ago, I don't care about stories and games. When I watch a lot of TV, okay, that's my time to take in stories. When I'm playing a game, I want to play a game. So I've been enjoying it. When people find out I'm skipping the cutscenes, they get very angry, which is funny to me. So now I'm going around very proudly saying I skip all the cutscenes.
So Dan's hot take on gaming this week is to never watch any of the cutscenes. And to be honest, Dan, 20 years ago, you were probably spot on, as stories were atrocious.
There were less games back then. Now there's so many games demanding my attention that I don't have. If I want to get to them all, I have to kind of like watch a recap of the story on YouTube rather than enjoy it in real time.
I do tell you what I find annoying is when there are cutscenes where you can't, if you have subtitles on, it's like, I've read the subtitles, I just want to skip to the next line, and it doesn't allow you to do that. That is frustrating.
Yes, I don't like slow subtitals.
And this isn't one of those things where now YouTube has trained me to watch things at 1.5 speed. Like, I wish I could watch it at 1.5 speed, and that would really help. Anyway, Dan, you can click on some more games that people are playing or pastimes. I think I'm still working on Jedi Survivor, and I'm really enjoying it. Funnily enough, the story isn't that interesting, so yeah, maybe I'll skip more of a story, but I am enjoying exploring and uncovering, finding locations and stuff. But yeah, pretty much a regular gaming week for me. I noticed some people saying Pigeons was apparently the new game to play. I think at least 2 people said that.
Multiplayer game.
Yeah. So
is this maybe just one person, because their name is Pigeony Studios? So maybe they're just making it up. I'm going to go on Steam. I'm not clicking any more things. I'm
promoting their own game.
Fair enough. Game.
Fair enough. You found us out for a few moments there. And also, I want to apologize for the last time I was hosting. I told people to do this. I told them to go to achievements when you download the vidIQ tool, a completely free tool, where you can look at all of your achievements on your channel and you can share them. Like, let's say we want to share the fact that we got 150 million views last October. It will generate a certificate and you can share it. And what I was asking people to do was to go onto Twitter, X, Twix, and share your milestones, and we would shout them out. And then I completely forgot to shout any of them out. So what I'm promising to you, Dan, and myself, is that this week, if you do share your certificates on vidIQ milestone, hashtag use that, when sharing your certificates, we will do some shout outs in the second hour of this live stream, unless we all forget again. We'll see. Other than that, finally, it's time to go to some super chats. And so what seems to happen, I still don't quite understand how this works, but for whatever reason, it just reminds us that people have been members.
They get to hit a button to say, tell everybody I'm still a member.
Right. Okay. So because you've been a member, you get an exclusive sound effect for this week only, which for you, we'll try the tried and tested sound effect. Bruh. That's yours for this week. The next super chat comes from In Times Like These, a web drama. Thank you for reviewing my thumbnail last Wednesday. Oh, yes. Did you know we regularly do thumbnail-only reviews by our very talented previous thumbnail designer now / creator on the channel, John. He just looks at thumbnails and he kind of makes them live as well. And so do check that out tomorrow, if it's on tomorrow. I can't remember if it's on tomorrow.
I think it is.
It's a bit sporadic. Sometimes we have a video on a Wednesday. Sometimes we have a live stream. Anyway, and Dan, my channel is my attempt to revitalize daytime soap operas. Wow, that's a curious channel.
It's animated. Right. And I think the advice I gave was that if you can put these into large compilations, that'd be really cool, because there are hundreds of episodes in at this point. And I think my advice was, like, I think people are going to be a bit, hesitant to get started. And they're saying that they have a season finale. But if you can find any good point to call something a season, I still believe that you could take one giant string of episodes and put them into one massive video, because that could be a really good way to get some new people in there. So I don't know what that looks like for you, but I still stand by that advice, but I appreciate the explanation as well.
So yeah, and the fact that you're sending us a super chat a week after you had the review on another live stream, that's cool in itself as well. So thank you for that super chat. Why does nothing work? Do you have any advice for finding and approaching potential sponsors?
Okay, yeah. Step one is to make a list of the companies you would love to work for. Or not work for, but like work with. A good way to do this too is to like go in places like Instagram, things like that. Make sure you give them a follow and pay attention to how they market their stuff, because eventually you're going to reach out to them and you're going to talk to them about the campaigns that they're doing and say like, oh my gosh, like last year, like for Halloween, you did this thing. I'm wondering if you're doing it again. I wonder if I can get involved. You know, that could just be like that's a really quick way to describe how I'm kind of imagining this. But what you really need to do is first imagine products and services that you really believe in and look to work for those companies or work with those companies, sorry. And then ideally you'll find companies that also already have campaigns with YouTubers. Like you've kind of noticed that they sponsor channels already. Because if it's something that they don't really, it's not a strategy they're normally doing, that's going to be a tougher, way to get in there. But another advice people give is another piece of advice is like maybe do something for them for free first. Like use the product in a video. I'm not sponsored. I just love this thing, and showcase it in a really cool way. Give them a shout out, and then that helps too, especially if that video does well. And gets a lot of views. So there's a number of ways to do it. There's a lot of videos out there that kind of go into deeper detail, but hopefully that's like a good place to kind of get your mind going.
2 quick thoughts from me. Google Media Kit. It's probably worth creating a one sheet of describing what your channel is, some of the demographics. Does YouTube still do this? I can remember when Fairman was connected and
you could get like, sorry.
Well, is it called Brand Connect now? And
Brand Connect
it automatically creates like a media kit for you.
Yeah, and you can customize it. That's pretty cool.
And also find comments that are really engaging and kind of show that you can influence people to not I'd say do anything, but you can influence your audience in like a positive and impactful way. Like, I took your advice and it changed my life, or it helped me so much for this particular thing. If you can find those comments, then it just shows you how engaged your audience is, and that they might be willing to trust you with your promotion of sponsorships and brands and whatnot. So that was Why Does Nothing Work? A question here from Tattoos in Review. Dealing with a sick family member, how can we let subscribers know that they plan on making new content and to apologize for not having new content? And I'm guessing they mean by not making a video, but doing a non-video way. That's how I interpret the final bit of the message. What I will say, Dan, just first of all, very quickly, is we're sorry to hear that you have, as everybody has, like challenges outside of YouTube. Life gets in the way. That's fine. YouTube's not going anywhere. Take all of the time you need. Your audience will return when you return, generally speaking, from a YouTube perspective.
Agreed. I would say, I would say that you could use the community tab, but if you haven't been building up the community tab, a lot of people might not get the message.
Yeah.
Different suggestion is you could do a live stream that kind of is you schedule it ahead of time, and you keep it very real in terms of title and stuff, like channel update or something like that. I don't love channel update videos, but I think a live stream, it goes out to your most regular viewers, and even if they don't show up live, it'll stay on your channel if you allow it to, and that could be another way as well. So you said non-video way. I'm guessing that's because you don't want to edit it, or you don't want it to mess with your regular YouTube. A live stream could be a good alternative as well. Live streaming on YouTube.
Cool. Thank you, Dan. Super chats here from Duck Pickle RL. Again,
thank you.
I should know these things, but like, if you send a super chat of that amount, does that mean you can't post a message? I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. Could have been a sticker. WBG Japanese, I want to say thank you for all of the advice you give. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the super chat. It's always appreciated. Travelman 356. Is it a good strategy to organically get 4,000 watch hours focused on long form, and then, if not close to 1,000 subscribers, add shorts to get subs for monetization?
Could be. I feel like I could be wrong about this. This is just my own experience. My experience, I always get the subs before the watch time with just long form videos, But everyone's going to.
That's a good question, Dan. Let us know. And like, if you did monetize, which came first, subs or watch time?
Yeah. You could absolutely do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a means to an end, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of people ask us how to get more watch time, and like the hack we can give is like do live streams. As the live streams still have to get views, they have to be good, but live streams can certainly add a lot to your watch time side of things. So yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Next question from Plum Wolf. My second shorts video, speaking of which, got more views, but why is my first video dying, not getting more views on latest shorts video when I just uploaded 18 hours ago? It's a bit of a confusing question, but what I will say is this. If you are only 2 YouTube shorts into your YouTube journey, let's not stress about these movements and views and like views suddenly dying.
Yeah.
Let's just get into the YouTube journey and experience. Like make 50 shorts, and then you'll have more data to look at different patterns and things. Shorts are very much what's the way this is said. Today's headlines, tomorrow's fish and chip newspaper. Like shorts are very I don't know. Maybe UK people understand that, but shorts are very disposable. But typically, they don't last for long, and so YouTube wants more of them.
I just want to add that I think this is for everybody. I think if you're here worried about views and subscribers, it's going to sound weird coming from us, the way we title our videos and everything. I get it, but ultimately, what we teach in those videos is try not to focus on that part too much. We believe that if you stop focusing on views and subscribers, you will get views and subscribers. So I know it sounds a bit weird, but seriously, like just focus on like ideas and making cool stuff, and everything else will kind of fall into place. Keep looking at the data and understand that sometimes you'll have an idea that doesn't work and try to learn from it, but try not to focus on number go up so much, which is very hard to do. This is a very gamified platform we're on, but I'm telling you, if you can get past that point and just focus on making fun stuff that you really believe is cool and fun, things will happen for you.
Artist's turn. Good luck on your draws, friends. Hope this is the week you get picked. Fingers crossed.
Good luck to all of you.
The CLAAAW will be deciding soon. Searching for tone. Still small. Had an idea to upload the time others in my niche do. Hit notification bell, research their post times. My video flopped. I think it's because they have 100,000 subscribers. They probably have a multinational audience, just for your information.
We would probably say that the time you post is probably not what you should be worried about so much. It's a little part of the journey. It's for your most loyal fans, I think. It's for the people who they know that every day at 6 a.m. you're going to post your next video, or every time you post it's at a certain day or time. And they appreciate that. But what you really want to focus on is new viewers, and they don't know your posting schedule. All they know is YouTube might recommend a video to them. Are they going to click it? So I think there's a billion reasons of why a video flops, and without looking at it, we can't really advise. But posting, it's cool that you research that. Keep researching other things too. Don't just worry about this like that one thing.
Indeed, indeed. And Dan, it looks like we have an answer from Pigeony Studios.
This wasn't a super chat. I just grabbed it.
Oh, you grabbed it. Yeah. It is a multiplayer game, and it's a solo developer. There's 16. Wow, it's pretty incredible.
I linked it in private chat if you want to look. It's really cool looking, actually.
I mean, all right. Should we give this channel a little bit of a shout out?
It's not even a channel. I put it.
Well, sorry. The developer a little bit of a shout out. Here we are. This is Pigeons.
It came out in April. And
wow, it's a pretty good cutscene for a solo developer to put all of this together. Goodness,
I love indie games. This is where I was like, "Whoa, okay, yeah." Hey, more like this, please. This is awesome. I'm excited for you since you're like a game developer on YouTube and you are looking to use the platform to hopefully like grow two things, right? You're getting your game out there. Look at other game developers on YouTube who have been successful and try and figure out ways in which you can showcase the journey of your time as a game developer. That's my advice.
All right, we'll do some more super chats later, and I have now remembered to do some shout outs, so we might as well do some of these now. Everyday Epics. They have celebrated 25 subscribers and 1,500 views recently, but they're currently on 40 subscribers. We're also celebrating Vil P Punk, 700 subscribers, almost at that golden milestone for monetization of ad revenue. We've also got, what are they called? X19 with 85,000 views. And Dan, I'll throw it over to you for some more celebrations of milestones.
Kitty Plays with 3,000 views. Congrats to you.
Well done to you.
We have 200,000 views from OrcDev.
Yeah. And that's your lot. That's your
okay.
Sorry, that was June 14th. So actually, that was they got in there accidentally. But if you want to do some more certificates, we'll try to remember to shout them out when we do our second round of super chats. At which point I have to press so many buttons to get us back to our next channel audit. Now, Dan, I must admit, maybe I have been influenced here because I have got into this passion myself very recently. I don't know if you've noticed, but my shelving is now being decorated a lot more by 3D prints of stuff. Like maybe you can name all of the stuff that is 3D printed behind me. And also, I recently did that big. I'm gonna have to move out of the way here, but I've recently printed that big sign, and like I think it's a fantastic and very, very, very expensive hobby. Also, I completely forgot.
Oh, wow!
We have been live for the last hour. I do apologize, but Dan, the channel I'm going to bring to you now is. Let me just bring it in. There we go. It is 3D Printsmith with 2,500 subscribers from only 30 videos. And looking at the view counts, very healthy view counts as well. So as somebody who's maybe a complete layman to 3D printing, like what is jumping out here and saying, yeah, that's a really good thumbnail or a really good video idea?
I like a lot of these ideas. I don't understand 3D printing, but I can already sense some of the frustrations that probably come with it. And I can tell that, especially by the views, they are finding solutions to those frustrations, which has got to be showing up in search. And Rob, I think you'd probably agree with this. Sometimes videos pop up for problems you weren't really intending to search for. They're in browse and you're like, oh, you know what? I have experienced that. And I bet that both of those things are going on. Or they're about to get into the hobby and they're like, wait, the corners of things can start lifting while they're printing. I don't want to deal with that. I'm about to buy a 3D printer. So this is awesome. Like, I really, really like their approach to how they're helping people. And I feel like you could take a channel like this and bring it in other directions too. Like a lot of the 3D print channels I've seen, usually it's YouTube Shorts and they're making something really impressive.
Yeah.
You know? So this doesn't have to stop at just, oh, here's this trick for like 3D printing to make it more efficient or whatever. It could be like, I made this cool thing. It looks like I see a deck of Uno cards down there, like a case for holding Uno cards. So they're probably doing that too. Below that.
Oh yeah, sorry, I see. Yeah, that one. That's pretty cool.
The end of torn boxes with 3D print. That's cool. Like I don't know about you guys, but if you have a closet full of like board games and stuff, after a little while, the little cardboard packaging, it does get ratty. You know, it's it'd be kind of cool to have if you play Uno a lot to have like a cooler case for it.
What I'm glad you pointed out here, Dan, and this is the thumbnail that immediately was drawn to me, was this one, because it so clearly shows you the problem in the thumbnail and then the promise of a solution. And I think it's very clear why that video is the outlier. It's got 22,000 views. So in terms of visualizing the problem and then offering a solution, I just want to see more thumbnails just like this. It is a big topic as well in 3D printing. But this is something where, and you've already done this, is like you can create a list of 100, 150, 200 frequently asked 3D printing questions, and you just systematically answer them as you are doing it. This is certainly a utility type channel. Earlier on, Dan, we're doing some weird stuff, including episode numbers. I don't know why you would need that, especially when this is probably predominantly search-based content at the moment. I'm pleased to see that they've at least moved it to the end of the title. And I think in the most recent ones, this episode number is cleared completely. I guess one thing I would also suggest as well here is if I go to most popular, it is about the lifting of the corners, building a case, flexible models. What I'm missing here is probably the videos with the biggest, what we call TAM, total addressable market. Because I think a lot of these are for maybe people who've already bought their 3D printer and they're now trying to understand the different challenges and problems. Whereas somebody who's thinking about getting a 3D printer, there are so many tutorials and beginners guides. And I think this channel needs to think about creating some of them because I think YouTube already knows what their audience is. If they publish these beginners guides, like a 30-minute, the ultimate guide to beginner 3D printing, that would really, I would think, become one of your biggest evergreen pieces of content. And I'm surprised I haven't done it already.
I would talk about different printers, like why you chose the one you chose. Maybe you have multiple. I don't know. I asked Rob the other day, because like you've been talking about your 3D printer. I'm like, where do you keep it? Like, do you have like a lot of problems with smells? What about the temperature in the room? Because I've been curious about this for a while. And those are the questions I have, because I've already kind of done a little bit of research and seen people concerned about these things I wouldn't have considered as a layman to it. So I have like a little more knowledge now of what goes into buying one of these. And I think that they could make a number of search-driven videos that help the very, very, very beginning stages of hobbyists in getting.
Let's just have a quick look at the thumbnails as they are now. I think there is a bit of evolution, like they just had the yellow background and maybe the object was kind of disappearing into that bright yellow background. Now there's a bit more, I guess, functionality, cleanness to them. On the left side, there's the text and the color scheme, and then on the right hand side, there's a hero, or vice versa. I think the thumbnails are improving. It could maybe be simplified again a little bit. Some of these, I still think that is just the chef's kiss thumbnail for this type of content.
It is. There's another one after it where they show these like tabs to keep corners from lifting, but they showed it from a top down, and so that kind of gets the messaging not across as clearly as the thumbnail that came before it. So it is little things like that too. Just keep in mind visually, like what is going to trigger people's brain to go, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm just doing a little search on the outlier tool to see if there is anything here. So again, just bring in the outlier tool. I've done a 3D printer beginner guide. I think I need to maybe refine that search, but here are some channels that are relatively small. This one introducing a specific printer, got 200,000 views from a channel with less than 1,000 subscribers. Organizing 3D printers, 4,000 subscribers, 50,000 views for this. Building one. Wow, do you want to build your own 3D printer? That's something I didn't want to do.
3D print a 3D printer?
Yeah, I want to plug and play mine. But yeah, some potential outlier ideas as well there for the tool. And Dan, I have actually printed a very special response to this channel. I was printing it this morning. So 3D Printsmith gets your very own red thumbs up.
Oh,
which is a bit weird. This is actually my dislike button I printed.
Yeah, is that a thumbs down that you?
But but I haven't. I'm printing the green one as we speak. I don't know. Maybe before the end of a live stream, I can bring that in. No, it's not got another 2 hours. But yeah, kind of thumbs. Hang on. Thumbs up. Print Smith. No, I'm getting this completely wrong. Thumbs up. 3D Printsmith.
You need that green one, I think.
Maybe anybody who has a 3D printing channel needs to have a special radio button on the form so that we can just prioritize them. So I can just spend hours.
So are you going to use these in image polls now, like instead of the icon?
Yeah. So yeah, what I'm going to do is like I'll have. Hang on, this it's really weird looking into a camera. So it's kind of. I'll take a picture like this. all moody.
Yeah.
3D printing, it's awesome. It's very expensive. You should maybe don't give it a try.
Maybe don't.
All right, then. We are pretty much at the top of the hour. Perfect timing for this. So Dan and I are still squabbling massively about this. He wants to bring in AI, as is everything these days, and have Claudia tell us what numbers to pick. And I just want to do it the old-fashioned classic way. So here's
use the boring extension.
Yeah, I don't want to use that either. I just want to tell people it works. So we've got 400 submissions currently in the non-gaming form. So we adjust the numbers to make sure that we have those 413 channels selected. And with the help of a sound effect, we pick one of these numbers. And that number is 223. I take that number. I put it here, which gives me the URL. And we're going to audit the channel here.
Wait. Before you do that, John showed me a trick. Wait, go back. John showed me a trick. You're going to love this.
Yeah. You do that.
And then you can right click it and have it like open.
Open, right, yeah. So what would that be?
Open a new tab, I think. I can't see. It's for some reason that's not showing up on the screen.
Yeah. What option would this be? Go to. No. Oh, look at that. Well, thank you, John. And by proxy, thank you, Dan. So we're auditing this channel. First impressions. We've never seen this channel before. We haven't pre-picked it or anything. They call themselves MikeAlsoMike e-bikes and pugs. That is a long channel name. And does this mean there are dog pugs in? I don't know.
I assume pugs.
I'm intimidated.
Yes, Puggo Vision.
Yeah, there we are. There's one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, pug. I don't know why, but Jasper hates pugs. So by extension, I have to hate this channel. So Dan,
okay,
can you audit MikeAlsoMike e-bikes and pugs with 300 subscribers and 279 videos?
Pugs are like one of the top 5 dogs. So Jasper's wrong. I think the 8 days ago there's a video, 477 views, insane speed test. How fast is the Free Sky Warrior? So that video did really well, especially compared to some of these other videos. And I think it might be the idea here. For example, the video after is 360 VR. Okay, fine. Experience in Napa endurance test. It's a little vague for the person just scrolling through YouTube, right? Like, if you know the channel, you understand what endurance test they're talking about. It's going to be about like the bike itself or something like that. But if you're just scrolling through and YouTube happens to pitch the channel to you, there's not like a lot there that's going to get you clued in on exactly what that is. There's not even like a good picture of the bike itself. It's those thumbnails always taken from the perspective of the handlebars. And I'm always stressing this because I want new viewers to come to the channel, which I'm sure is what you all want. So you really need to look at these titles and thumbnails from the perspective of a new viewer. Are they going to understand what the video is about? It's difficult to take yourself out of your own shoes and put yourself in the shoes of a new viewer. But if you can nail that practice, you'll suddenly start to rethink all of your titles and thumbnails, which can be frustrating. I respect that putting that much time and effort into titles and thumbnails is inherently frustrating because I have to do this all the time. But it pays off. Like, you should spend a lot of time on that if you're not already. So that's where I think, just looking at this channel as a whole, I think that is probably the thing they need to overcome the most.
What about 360/VR content? It looks as if they're posting on every other video cadence, and I can't see a single one of these VR videos performing well. I think is the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, I would love to see examples of 360 videos that do well versus ones that don't, because my feeling is that you move so fast and it's so jittery, the 3D viewing experience is probably not very fun. But I don't know. That my instant, like, I guess I'll call it a red flag for that kind of content. If I were to see this just on YouTube, I'd be like, okay, I don't know if I want to watch that because I think it's going to jostle me around a lot. And if I'm wearing a VR headset or something, I'm probably going to be like, nope. But that's just my instinct. I don't know. We could look at one to see if it's stabilized. And okay, so far so good. I think it's obviously playing at a different frame rate for me.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with how stable it looks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like half of the 360 is your shirt. And so if the camera was higher up, we'd probably get a little more of a cool experience, right? Because we'd be able to see behind you.
I guess
nitpicks. These are not like, I'm not super worried about this personally.
The point I'm trying to get to here is this similar to a channel that has multiple languages? Like the content is so different. Like the consumption of VR content is so different and alien to most people that, first of all, there's a big technological barrier to entry. Like how many people have VR headsets to watch this stuff? And even if they do, like I've got a VR headset. I cannot be bothered watching YouTube videos. You know, I've got to be in a certain mood for that, for a VR experience.
Yeah.
And I'm very rarely in that mood to watch videos in VR. It almost feels as if that should be like a VR channel. Almost like that. That's what I mean in terms of like, do you separate it off as much as that?
Maybe you can look at it on your phone. In fact, the 360 experience on phone is actually kind of cool because when you hold your phone, you can literally like move around the environment by spinning your phone physically in its environment. So I always found that experience to be kind of neat. But it's more novelty for me. I wouldn't make my entire strategy 360 video personally. I think it's kind of a neat, cool thing you can do. But
you know what?
I'm a pessimist when it comes to it. So
let's get in a third opinion for this. So let's boot him up. Travis, welcome.
I need to be rebooted.
Oh,
okay. We'll reboot Travis now.
huh.
Oh,
is it not coming back?
This
happens. You unplug it, plug it back in.
It needs a software update. It's going to take at least
driver updates can take a while. Sorry, everybody.
All right, he's back in. He's back in.
That's better.
So, Travis, we were asking a question here about, you know, VR content on a channel.
Cool.
Anything to add?
Is this a VR channel?
Oh well, so Travis asked that question. No, it's I think it's a regular channel about e-bikes, but they're publishing some of their content in a VR format.
That's cool. I mean, definitely YouTube needs more VR and 360 creators. They have like 4 of them. So,
but do you not think there might be a reason for that? Because nobody wants to consume content.
That's part of the joke. I mean, to be honest, like, I think it's great, especially if you enjoy doing it. And the few people that actually do take advantage of it are really thankful. And you know, when I first used my MetaQuest and, you know, I saw some of those, I was really blown away by them. And then I quickly did other stuff. I don't dislike it. Although I would argue that the 360 content on YouTube is too low res to really take advantage of things like MetaQuest and such. And there's like better platforms for that sort of thing. But I mean, if I just look at it like, just have fun with it. If you're expecting growth through 360 and VR content, that's just shot that way, you're probably barking up the wrong tree. Again, not to say that you shouldn't or can't do it, but and if it's just to mix something in every so often, cool. But if you're like looking for growth from it, I don't think it's going to happen.
Prior to the 360 content, again, the vidIQ Outlier tool doing its job and showing that they had a good run here of good performing videos. And I'm trying to work out what they were about. Let me see. Best budget flat tire e-bike. So I think they were all reviewing specifically flat tire e-bikes. I don't understand how that works, but I'm very much a layman to this technology. But yeah, it looked like they were starting to build up some momentum. And I'm not going to say the VR content kind of derailed it, but they went from getting thousands of views on their videos to now typically maybe 500 views or less.
Like the video, you scroll past a little bit, but right towards the top,
was it
a little bit more, 2.5K. Like that kind of goes into what I was saying earlier about new viewers, right? Because now we can see a bike and it says 2,000 watt e-bike. So this feels like a video for a lot of people, not just people interested in e-bike. So people interested in like, oh, what's this like? You know, I'm not going to buy one, but just what are these things like? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was just going to do the most popular ones and figure out if having a bike actually in the thumbnail was kind of an indicator to the outliers, but it's still a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah. What do we conclude with here, Dan? I think you've been the most valuable contributor to this audit.
Huh. Feels like I'm being singled out a little bit.
No, it's I got kind of pulled onto the conversation of VR, so I haven't really been looking at the thumbnails and the titles, whereas you have and the video ideas.
I would keep experimenting with ideas and thumbnails that can cater to people who may not necessarily buy their own e-bikes, but just like to see stuff like this. Hey, cool, e-bikes. I haven't even thought of those. How fast can they go? What practical uses do they have? There's plenty of people interested in watching something, even if they're not into the hobby themselves. Is all I'm saying. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okie dokie, let's audit our gaming channel. And so we need to check the form here and get the numbers right. 349. Make the adjustment there. Click that. Get the sound effect. And then, Dan. Oops.
What happened
my
there?
apologies. Yeah, I'm bashing the microphone around a little bit. So let's see if this works a second time. Right click. Oh, that is genius, Dan. It saves me at least 3 seconds.
I'm glad that one time-saving tip for this process at least worked for you.
MidAndRed, calling all Roblox fashionites and warriors.
Oh.
So they have, I think this is their entire catalog of videos so far, or some shorts as well.
Okay.
It looks like it may be a fashion Roblox channel. Would that be the most accurate way to describe it?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
So they kind of took a one video break from the fashion stuff in the latest video. It looks like they're just focusing on like a specific game.
Blade Ball.
Yeah. The game itself doesn't feel like it's being demonstrated very well in that thumbnail, but I want to focus on the fashion part of it more, because I know that that's a thing in Roblox. People creating outfits, and it's like a whole marketplace. Yeah, here we go. See, there's already a big difference with these thumbnails than the Hero channel. And it's just that you can tell the focus is going to be fashion. There's no wasted space. Whereas some of these thumbnails, not to be mean or anything, it just feels like a lot of negative space in them. Like the latest fashion thumbnail. Can Roblox live up to Pinterest? And so you have like this vague image of like two characters from like different environments that kind of look similar but don't. And there's like an arrow, but there's like all this space around them, and then that text you can't read, and the text at the top you can't read, and then a Pinterest logo that couldn't be smaller. So thumbnail advice here would be, what software are you using, and can you watch a couple tutorials on it so you feel a little more comfortable using it? And then once you do, can you try to look at some of the thumbnails that are performing well in the Roblox fashion kind of environment, or maybe even other games that have like a lot of clothing you can buy and stuff, and try to model your thumbnails a little more in that style. We're not stealing ideas here. We are just trying to go with the flow in terms of what people are typically clicking on. Thumbnails are going to be everything when it comes to, I think, demonstrating like fashion in a game. Like, you're trying to convince people to look at these outfits, buy them for themselves. But right now, the subjects in the thumbnails are very small, and there's a lot of wasted space.
And then from a title perspective, from me, there tends to be what looks to be a title and then a subheading. For example, can Roblox live up to Pinterest? Testing the limits with Dress to Impress. Pinspy Disaster. Dressing random outfits in Dress to Impress. I feel as if the titles need to be more connected, or like you just need to go for one strong message rather than trying to almost insert a double meaning, or like a headline, sub-headline. Yeah. The viewer needs to more convincing more quickly, I would say. That I think similar to the thumbnails, Dan. Like the thumbnails are trying to tell us too much. The titles are trying to tell us too much. Like for this one, Pinterest Roblox fashion, I feel as if it's a much more cohesive and efficient way to sell that in the packaging than how it's been done here.
I agree.
So far.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's the packaging of the video is obviously going to be what we're focused on, because we're not watching the videos themselves, but it's difficult, I think, for a new viewer to click on these because there's too much decoding they have to do before they actually decide to watch.
I was continuing to let you boot up a little bit there, Travis, but if there's anything you want to add to this one, do so now. Otherwise, we'll move on to another channel.
Well, we can move on. I mean, I think you guys kind of nailed it. There's certain channels where you can say everything you need to say in the first 15 seconds and then kind of move on.
Okay, then let's find a channel specifically for Travis. Press the wrong sound effect there. 372. So, Travis, I want you to lead with this one
Uh-oh.
called Cardboard Films Stop Motion. Let's see what we have.
Oh, that's cool. We've come across these stop motion Lego things, and thumbnails are really important. And before I even looked at the views, I was like, this probably gets pretty good views just from what I can see. 500 subscribers, and yes, they do get good views. And much like a lot of the channels we've seen in the past, you don't see a lot of uploads because I think it just takes forever to do, and they're all kind of very short duration.
Yeah,
Miles Morales is 5 seconds. So these are really great. It's 8 seconds with him coming at Mario. Let's watch one let's watch the 8-second one because it's only 8 seconds.
These are long form shorts masquerading as long form videos, which is totally fine. People can do it. So what? Mario hand-to-hand combat. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's even more.
If you play video games, that's not that bad. Well, that was really cool. Those sound effects were cool. I think it would have been neater with like some types of my eye. Would have been neater with some like ominous music or something. Having said that, like, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot going into that. And something like that can take a really long time. And I think the question isn't, does this content work? It does. All you gotta do is look at the views and know that it does, and look at other channels and know that it does. I don't know that, to be perfectly honest, I don't know there's a lot we need to say. With 45 videos, 500 subscribers, and kind of every so often getting some real good momentum, the best piece of advice I could give is to figure out a way to get these out faster, to do more of them. Because quite frankly, that's what's going to grow you. Everything else about the thumbnails work. I've seen thumbnails like this before. Maybe you can well, I would say like the Lego Chima, but there's guns, maybe is a little bit too crowded and stuff. Some of these other ones are really good. You have like a blur in the background on the Miles Morales one. Like there's some pretty cool things going on most of these, but every once in a while, I feel like maybe you missed the mark a little bit. But this is one of those times where I legitimately wouldn't give too much advice. There's been a very few times in my kind of coaching career that I would go, you know what? I'm not really going to say too much because you're doing it right. Like here's a couple of little things you can think about, but I'm afraid to change too much because there's just as much of a good chance of you doing things that are wrong and then you actually hurt your performance than there are getting them right. And I think really the only thing you need to do is just put out more content.
I want to watch one more, and I do have a thought. So we'll do the latest one, which is 15 seconds long.
Wow.
That's really cool.
How did you make the hair move? Wow.
So I think they have the editing and especially the sound effects. They have that nailed down to perfection. Are they converting these into shorts as well? Just out of curious. Maybe not. I'm wondering if I can convert these to shorts as well. But if I was to give this creator some long-term advice, and I really do mean long-term here, is figure out a way to start telling stories in these clips. That's going to take time. And it feels like even from your titles, you are still experimenting here. Like you're literally saying that this is a sword test. This is a Lego animation, presumably a test. But I think if you can start to just add a little bit of a story to this person slaying this zombie, which may take like a few more clips or maybe a bit of a voiceover, I think then you start to approach potential viral territory. But I think that's a long-term goal. Slowly introduce it here and there. Dan, any final thoughts from you, or can we move on?
No, this is one I think you guys covered really well. It's very impressive to see what they're doing, especially with the short videos that are in long form. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, cool move. Cool move. Let's pick another channel, and this will be a gaming channel, and we now have 300.
I would like to request one of those 10 to 15 second Lego things with me, Dan, and Rob, and see what he can do with that.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll get tons of views.
Yeah, I'll look forward to
They'll
that.
get our community views. Why not?
I guess so.
I'd watch it a couple times and get a couple views from me.
Watch it several times on repeat.
Share it around Slack or something.
Okay, gaming channel here, ApexWolvesGaming, and they have 2 video. What does it say? They've got 25 videos. Oh, live streams. Okay, let me just check. What are they describing themselves as? A live stream channel. Okay, so let's focus on the where have I just put it? There. Let's focus on the live streaming aspect of this then.
Okay.
So they are having to rely on, I guess, loading screens or artwork from the video games that they're playing. And so there is a bit of a disconnect's not the right word, but I guess this type of thumbnail is unlikely to stop the scroll.
Yeah.
And even if it does, the world is on the brink of war.
Northern Fury has been unleashed.
What's that relating to? Like, are you doing a single player version of a game? Is this just let's play through live streams? Are you on screen narrating? I'm not getting the answers I want to convince me to click necessarily in the packaging.
Yeah. The streaming side of YouTube can be really, really beneficial in terms of views, especially after it's over. That's something that you won't get on a platform like Twitch. Once the stream is gone, it's gone. People are watching live content over there, but on YouTube, your streams can live on. So wouldn't you want to title and thumbnail them in a way that gets people to click on them after the fact? And that's how I approach them. So you are playing, the games you're playing, and you're basically saying in the title and thumbnail, I'm playing a game. I would like you to play a game and bring something a little bit more interesting to the table when it comes to how you're pitching it. Even if it's just you got early access to a game. That in itself could be very interesting to people. But ideally, you'll be doing some kind of challenge or chasing some kind of goal, and you will put that goal in the title and even maybe the thumbnail in some kind of clever way, so that when people are scrolling by, they're like, I'm going to give this person a chance because that's a really difficult thing they're trying to do, and I want to see if they can do it. So that is, I understand what that does when I suggest something like that, is it adds work to the creator's plate. They just want to play a game and chill out, and that's fine. You can do that too, but here's the thing. These streams don't have a ton of views. I imagine when you're live, you have a few concurrent viewers maybe, and you probably want more.
Yeah.
And what you can do to get more is to have more videos on your channel, long form videos that have specific subjects behind them, right? Like, so those are where you do your heavily edited content, the challenges, the really like meaty stuff that takes longer to make. And then the live streams can be there for you to just chill. But if live streams are going to be your bread and butter, you've got to give people more of a reason to come and watch you. And even if you do that, you still want videos and or shorts helping to grow the channel. And I know people will disagree here, but I've experienced it myself. If you have a really strong shorts side of a live streaming channel, when you're live, people will start to find you who have watched your shorts, as long as those shorts have gotten enough views. So your concurrent viewership can benefit greatly from having really good YouTube shorts. And live streams can be a YouTube shorts machine if you're capturing the clips the right way, editing them down real quick, and throwing them out there on the short shelf. So you got to do other things to grow. But ultimately, what I'm seeing here that this creator needs to figure out is how to make just the streams themselves seem a little more appealing. Because right now I'm getting that like out of the box vibe. I just bought this game. I'm going to play it. Like, let's do a little bit more, because I'm going to buy the game and I'm going to play it too. I want to watch you do something that I'm probably not going to attempt myself because I just don't want to play the game that way.
You've used this term before, Dan. It's called, what is it? Off the shelf gaming.
Yeah. That's just a thing that I say.
Have you actually used that and explained it in one of our videos yet? Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's in the gaming video.
The Guide to Gaming 2024. Yeah.
If not, it could be in the next one. But yeah, it's the idea that if I can go to Walmart and buy a game and bring it home, sit on my couch and quietly enjoy it, and your video is exactly the same thing. You bought a game, you downloaded it or whatever, you're playing it and you're just quietly enjoying it. That is what I call an off-the-shelf experience. You're just playing the game. But I watch creators who want to give me tips to get better at the game, or they want to entertain me in some way using the game as kind of a platform for expression rather than just, hey, I'm going to let the game do all the heavy lifting here.
Okay, this is a shorts channel, Big Feathers Farm. They have 200,000 subscribers. So
Wow.
I'm not sure what we're going to be able to offer them as advice here, other than to continue what they're doing. Let me just check video-wise. So yeah, we're not really doing too many videos, and that's fine. They're a shorts channel. And I guess, first of all, they have a farm, which means that they already have, access to a type of content that is rare. Well, one in every, I don't know, 1,000 or 10,000 creators has a farm, which allows them to fill content on, and you're leveraging that, which is brilliant. So let's do a random one. What did this barn cat have? I'm going to click on this. Hopefully it hasn't got any copyright music, in which case we'll have to mute it.
This is what happens when you have two barn cats. One has found something that he doesn't.
I'm just going to pause that. That's an intriguing hook, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of gets, the first couple of seconds gets you intrigued. They've created like a tension and a story. And I like that, just to kick off this short.
Want the other one to know about, so he's about to take off and run as fast as he possibly can. Watch to the end to see what happens. I followed him to his secret spot, and normally that's where the female cats are, right behind these bushes. Now, I'm not sure if this animal was to play with or to eat, but we have to see exactly what Tony caught. So I peeked around the bushes and noticed that he had nothing there. Now, if we recall from the first frame of the video, we saw he had something clearly in his mouth. So I have no idea where it went or what Tony did with it. What do you think?
I think that has all the fundamentals of a really interesting short. Like, it's telling a story, it's trying to get the audience involved by asking a question, it's well edited. I think it could have been a little tighter in the edit, perhaps a little quicker here and there. Maybe shave off 20-25% of the content somehow to add a bit more pace to it. But I can see why the creator is succeeding with these shorts when they're telling these types of stories.
Yeah. I think they have the fundamentals down for getting a new viewer to stop scrolling. But there's people in chat agreeing too. I think there's a lot that can be cut out to tell that story in a more concise way. And with YouTube Shorts, there's no reason not to make it shorter if it can be shorter. There's the watch time stuff that matters a lot with the long form. Watch time in Shorts matters, but it's just different. Like, if you can make a really jam-packed 4-hour video full of information and intrigue and good edits, people will watch it. But like with YouTube Shorts, you can have a 5-second short go viral. You know what I mean? It's the length is not necessarily holding you back. So a lot of editing could have been done there to cut that down a bit.
Let's watch one of these viral ones, which has millions of views, and see if there's kind of any subtle difference. I'm going for this one because I like the title. Did this chicken commit a crime?
When I went to go feed the chickens today, I noticed a big problem, and I saw one of my hens inside of the nesting box. I can confirm that this hen is broody because of the noise that she made. You might be wondering why I have to take this hen out of the nesting box. Well, my hen has basically committed a crime. You see, she's sitting on fake plastic eggs, so I have to take her off because these eggs will not hatch. She first ate some food and then walked around a little bit, took a nice poop, and then walked around some more and went to go sit on top of the eggs again. Since she wanted to continue to lay on the eggs, I wanted to do an experiment with her. So I got 2 more plastic eggs and put them right next to her. She did not put them under her, so she is not a good broody hen. When I went to go feed the...
Again, I feel as if that's over-explained a little bit. I feel as if there's little segments here and there that you can cut, but it went viral. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
I was hooked till the end, which is good, but I was left a little unsatisfied. Like, I don't know enough about hens, maybe, but I'm like, wait, but what is that? Why are there plastic eggs? What does it mean when a hen won't lay on them? Like, so I don't know. I don't think that hurts the channel in any way. I think I'm just always trying to consider a viewer's experience, and am I satisfying their curiosities enough in the content? And I was left with a few lingering questions, kind of like watching a TV show and committing to the whole thing, but then at the end they don't explain anything and the show ends, and you're like, wait, what did all that mean? So I don't know. That's just general advice, I guess. It's like, could you have ended it differently for people like me?
I think the structure of the shorts is fantastic.
It is.
And the way they're telling the stories and the editing, I think every aspect of that just needs to be tightened up like 20-25% to give it a bit more speed, a bit more edginess, and as you say, Dan, maybe a bit more efficiency in what they're trying to communicate.
So someone says she won't accept them. But why? Like they were already plastic eggs. Why were plastic eggs there? And why are these plastic eggs there? Like I'm so curious. Maybe it could be another short, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I was left with lingering questions. And that's more of a overarching channel thing, not to knock that specific short because it did great. But thinking about the new viewers, that's the mindset I'm in today. Could you have told me, someone who does not have hens, a little bit more?
Let's audit another gaming channel. We're going to bring in channel 22 now. Dan, thank you. Thank you for this shortcut. It's working well.
Oh, good. Unless someone puts in a bad link, then
it's working well. Foraskto. How do I say that channel name? Somebody help me out here.
foraskto.
foraskto. Yeah, let's go with that.
Something like that.
foraskto.
Thanks, Travis. Thanks.
Just so you know.
Thanks for contributing. 200 subscribers, 100 videos. Definitely some specific Roblox game / mod of some kind. Roblox Area 51, I think, is a game.
Yeah.
And they are doing some of these fundamentals. I think the big white arrow maybe is a bit too much. I think it might be dominating the thumbnails more than you want it to. In that aspect. But I guess my question is, we got to find out if there's any audience for this game.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So 6 years ago, we had a video with 7 million views. Right, let's narrow this down to the past year. And
8 days ago.
7 days ago, 14,000 views. 8 months ago, 10 months ago, 7 months ago. So 2 days ago, only 24 views. So this to me suggests that content isn't being recycled that often in terms of search. I mean, but there are some, here's an outlier, 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 views. So maybe I'm a little wrong about that.
Okay.
Although I'm not convinced from that quick search.
Yeah, basically what we're saying here is maybe, is there another game that's kind of taken over in this genre within Roblox? You know, is this the most popular version of this type of game right now? We're not Roblox players, so we're not able to really answer that for you. But I think where the creator is kind of missing here is, so look, like the thumbnail says, this is bad. My instant reaction to that is, what is bad? Nothing looks like it's happening. So what is bad? Arrow
Which thumbnail is this, Dan? Sorry,
this
just
is in the middle.
Oh, got it. Right. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
So the latest video, camping. It says camping, and there's like an arrow pointing at somebody. The worst Roblox Area 51 players 2. I love that they are trying to marry the title and the thumbnail, and they're trying to explain concepts. I think they just need like a little more practice to like really nail it down. Where like camping, it's so close. Like everything about it is so close when it comes to just trying to create intrigue, you know? Damage dealt is another one where the character behind, like they're both wearing like black shirts on a dark background. So it's harder to see that there's someone lurking behind this character. You know what I mean? Their environment is not playing well here. And I'm sure the game itself is what you have to struggle with, because a lot of environments in the game look like they're like black floors, gray walls. But there are tricks you can do in like Photoshop, for example, that would help, you know, create more contrast. But right now, a lot of elements are blending in, and that's also an issue.
Some success with shorts, few videos with thousands of views, but these don't necessarily look as if, well, does the traffic cone on top of their head indicate that they're playing Area 51? Is that?
I think that's just their character.
Maybe it's just their character. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to have something really naive, Dan. Does that mean that you take this character into different mods of Roblox?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little metaverse.
Your avatar.
Yeah, your avatar can I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Roblox players, but I'm pretty sure That's like one of the big draws to the game. Is that's why the fashion is so important, because you can like
Mm.
have a character that kind of persists through different environments.
All right, that is for Ask 2, and I think what we should probably do now is handle all of the super chats remaining. So bear with me while I press all of the appropriate buttons to get to the super chats that we have. Not too many, so hopefully we can deal with these relatively quickly, unless we have a deluge of them now. Edge of Thought Ideas. I made some shorts from my pop vid. Now, I don't know if that means pop music or like drink. Anyway, I got 500 to 800 views on shorts. Someone with new channel stole my video and gained 1,000 stubs, 100,000 views. His shorts in 30 days. How? Why? Okay, so
What?
let me get this straight. Did they literally download your video from YouTube and then
did they
re-upload it?
remake it?
Yeah, there's a key. If they remixed it through YouTube tools, then that is perfectly fine and accepted.
Or
You agree to those terms when you upload the YouTube short.
Or did they take the idea and do it, quote, better?
Yeah, there are some unknowns here.
Yeah.
If they did literally just re-upload your video, then you have grounds to make a copyright claim, a takedown. Definitely do your research on how to do it, because I can't remember how you do that.
You
off the top of my
can't.
head.
Yeah, you cannot do it if it was the remix feature, I believe, because that's like
Correct.
You allowed your video to be remixed. You can unallow it. You can't go back and unallow it. I'm saying well, maybe you can. You can definitely, when you upload it, say you cannot remix this video.
I think you can. Can you? Is there a setting where you can stop people from remixing?
I think there is.
Not sure.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm like
Yeah, I
80%
can't
sure.
remember.
I'm 80% sure. Because I think I've seen it pop up, especially in shorts. But anyway, if they took your idea and they did it in on their own channel with their own voice and their own whatever, you can't do anything about that. That's not a copyrightable thing. You had an idea, someone liked it, they did their own version of it. That we tell people to do that all the time. So it really, really depends. The copyright system is a legal process. So respect it. That's all I'm trying to say. Just respect it.
Okay, next super chat from Maddox Sanders. My first video got 250 views. Congratulations to you. And I uploaded a second video and it only got 60 views. Any advice for my next video to get more views? It's very early on in your YouTube journey. I would be celebrating the fact that you got hundreds of views on your first video and you've got 60 views on your second video. That's not a bad return on investment to begin with. And as we mentioned earlier, really need to make 10, 25, 50 videos to start really understanding what an average view count is for your content and finding patterns about your audience and such. So don't sweat the views and the subscribers yet. Let's just get into the idea of passionately making content over a longer period of time. Would be my advice, but I welcome Travis and Dan to offer their thoughts as well if you have different ones.
You know what's crazy? We're
considering
making a video very similar to this in the coming weeks, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is such a generic question that it's impossible to answer, because it's like, I made a video about ducks and it got 250 views, and then I made a video about a sandwich and it got 60 views. Well, there's your problem.
Well,
without knowing
sandwich video,
you could obviously
combine the views.
Exactly. But we don't know what you made your videos on. We don't know anything about it. So it's hard for us to give you a good answer. But typically, if you get one video that gets good views and the next one doesn't, there must be something about that second video that's not working for your current audience. Doesn't mean it won't ever work. Just means currently.
Ghost Prodigy, 800 subs, reached 4,500 hours of watch time, an average 1.5 views per video. So yeah, this is a person who has more of an idea of their numbers because of being on YouTube for a while, and they can have a clear indication of where their bench line is, which is good. Advice with getting more subs: only gained 13 this month.
I think you could try making some shorts. You know, there's little things you can do, but I don't know. 13 this month. It is now June 25th. Okay. Not the biggest increase. How about your views? How are those doing? You know what I mean? Like, if your subs slow down, I assume other things are slowing down too. And have you tried different topics? This is again like if we're seeing the channel, we could answer it better. But
Yeah.
Are we changing up topics? Like what other things have gone on? Maybe you used to say, hey, by the way, subscribe, but you changed your call to action to be watch the next video, for example. Like we've tried stuff like that. So there's like 100 different things without looking at the channel we don't really know. But yeah, it's kind
What
of
about the thought at this point? Because this creator's in one of these awkward situations now where they just need 1,000 subscribers to reach monetization. There's like a YouTuber manufactured this creator now to desperately want another 200 subscribers.
Yeah.
So does the creator at this point just be honest and say in their videos, look, hey, I really appreciate the support. I just want to let you know that I'm now just 200 subscribers short of monetization. And it would mean so much to me as a creator to be able to make revenue from this channel and put it back into the content so that you enjoy better videos. You know, I guess it's kind of like a bit of a personal plea to the community that you've built up, like just in case they haven't subscribed yet, you know, it would mean so much. And you're kind of only doing that, yes, just to get to your 1,000 subscribers. But I almost feel as if this is a situation where you are allowed to ask for the sub if you can put it behind a convincible reason for that. And I think to reach the requirements is you're kind of in that awkward spot right now.
Mm-hmm. You can also find cheeky, funny ways to ask too.
Yeah.
You know, just
that could be it.
Put the sub button on the screen somewhere and go, is that a sub button? And then just keep going on with the video.
Like us asking, can we beat Ford already? Like, come on, help us get to 2 million subscribers. Ah, dear. Next super chat. Rocky the Protogen. How effective do you think? Hey, everybody, have you got your YouTube bingo card? Live stream bingo card?
Hold on.
You can cross it off. The question's been asked once again.
Okay, hold on. This week, we have a video on this.
Oh.
It's already been shot. It's being edited as we speak. Goes into detail, shows stats, shows information, and then we give our opinion on it. I would say hit subscribe so you don't miss that very important video that's coming out this week. Jen and I went into detail and we brought up someone who actually has used it. We look at all the analytics behind it, and I think you'll have a really good answer at the end of that video. TLDR, you probably shouldn't, but watch our video later this week.
Wonderful. Lone Wolf and Cub Kung
Oh my God, it's the same thing. Hey, Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu. You should hit the subscribe button because we're literally going to talk about this later this week in a video. Now, how good is the timing here? How good is the timing?
Travis, I'm astonished at how well you said that channel name so quickly, because I was like really being careful how I said it. Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu. Thanks for the question. It's already been answered. And the last one, Voltus Blitz. I know you said remaining, but still works to try. Thank you for this. So, did I read that incorrectly? I know you said remaining, but still works the try. Thank you for this live, guys. I'm sorry, I don't understand the first sentence.
They appreciate us. This is
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for the super chat.
And okay, I have not forgotten, folks. Have you submitted any more celebrations for achievements? You have. I don't know why sometimes it doesn't show the full certificate as an image. It makes it a lot harder to read, but I will try my best. Jan won form with 1,600,000 views. We've also got the Demonic Fox with their first 300 views. Congratulations to you as a new YouTuber. And Stony with 90,000 views. And Dan, do you want to do this? I think this is the last one, actually. I'm not sure.
Atlas, you got 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers. Yeah, they've reached that requirement that someone else is working towards. And did we do? Yeah, we did Kitty Players, didn't we? 10 subscribers. So thank you for all of your shout outs there. That still leaves us with 50 minutes to do some more channel audits, which is awesome. So let me just press some buttons here to get us back on track with that. The music has been paused. Thank you, Dan, if you did that. And so we get back the CLAAAW and check what numbers we have. What did we audit last time? Was it a gaming channel or a...
Was gaming.
It was gaming, wasn't it? It was the Roblox channel.
Which means I'll be right back.
We're doing. Oh, Dan's gone. Goodbye, Dan. Right. So just Travis and myself to take on this non-gaming channel. Channel number 9. Going right back to the beginning of the channels. And maybe we'll mix things up after this channel audit. You'll have to hang around to see what that means. Clumsy Jackdaw. The mods you didn't win. Hang on, is this a gaming channel? I made a DLC for my browser game. I made Pals randomize on level up. Hang on, have I picked a gaming channel? It's one of those awkward ones, Travis, where they call themselves a game development channel. So do you class it as a gaming channel or not? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, those are interesting. Those are always interesting. I'm curious as to what we find out here. Clumsy Jackdaw. So are they I made a DLC for my browser game. Oh, okay, yeah. The ones with yeah. And sometimes they do well. I mean, look at the views and stuff on these. Out of curiosity, click on that. Let's look at what the comments say.
Don't you just look?
200 comments.
Yeah. Well, I want to see what they say. I want to see what some of them say. At least it didn't ask me to do a question. Original humor. You didn't play it before watching it. Spent please appreciate I'm not a robot. Match the digital clock and clock. I'm gonna. So these are like what's interesting here is
very engaged comments, aren't they?
They're like having fun. It looks like this might actually be like a fun video, which is probably it's so funny because again the thumbnail is kind of plain, but I think for this particular genre, it's kind of similar to what you'd see here. And it's interesting because there's a lot of editing here.
Yeah.
A lot more than what I typically see on these type of videos. So maybe that's what helps it stand out. It's very interesting. I made a browser game. Really good views. I made Power Randomize Level Up. So they've only been doing this for a little while. It's actually really how many they have a lot of shorts or no?
Let's see. No, not really. Just experimenting with shorts.
Yeah, I'm making him little mods. That's really cool. I think what's interesting is he made a DLC for his browser game and it didn't get nearly the amount of views, even though they've been out for about the same amount of time. It's always
I'm wondering, this video, it took off maybe after a couple of days. So it took a bit of time to take off. But as you say, Travis, naturally we would say double down on an intriguing idea. They did, and they did it relatively quickly as well. It wasn't.
Yeah. And they did in the thumbnail, like they did the right things.
Yeah.
To try to double down on that. But here's the other thing. Just because you double down once or something and it doesn't work right away does not mean that it wouldn't work again if you try it again. Like find another way to slice that onion. It does not mean that, that was a one and done. There's no more. It doesn't mean that. So I really suggest taking a look at that video again and figuring out another way to do, content similar to it and see if you can connect with the audience again, because you got one. You knocked it out of the park. How can you do it again?
So welcome, Dan. Welcome back, Dan. I think we've been hoodwinked by a non-gaming channel, but it feels like a gaming channel.
I'm a game development channel.
They game development channel, yeah, where we're always in the grey area, is it or not? Any extra thoughts from you? I just think they've got some really inventive ideas. There's one here. I made a voice mod for Baldur's Gate 3, and it's just all Bill Gates' face. I've got to play this one just for the first, in the first 10, 15 seconds, you got to get a laugh out of me. So let's try this one.
Hellspawn, and you will wait for Kaga's judgment. Now get back, arm at me through Ravisham, or I'll rip your damn throat out.
It does sound like him, but it's just not funny.
It's a bit underwhelming, I guess, which is fine. It's a cool concept. Yeah. I would have said the title maybe Baldur's Gate, but everybody is Bill Gates or something. Or Builder's Gate, funny way of spelling it. But I don't know if title was it for that one. It was a little bit underwhelming. Anyway, I like that they're making mods. I made Nature Violent in Stardew Valley is a fantastic concept. I think that's really cool. I don't even know if you needed the code on the left there, but the capture game, I was watching you guys talk about that a little bit, and I'm kind of wondering, yes, there are probably other ways to double down on it. Keep playing around with that. I also wonder if it's just a matter of, hey, are there any other ideas you have for games? And maybe the next 20K view video you get is just another funny game you made, you know? And maybe that's okay. Maybe it takes you a few months to make that, but you release the video and it's like, oh my gosh, the guy that made the capture game came out with something new, another browser game, you know? This is a cool start to YouTube, I think.
Yeah, I think what I'd finally say is, again, the creator is early on in their journey, and I think that they have one of the absolute fundamentals for a channel going viral at any stop it, at any point in the future, and they have really intriguing ideas, and maybe it's just a packaging on some of these, like how you might package a Bill Gates one. So I encourage this creator to just keep coming up with these fantastic ideas and turning them into videos, because I think you're going to hit the jackpot again and you're going to have a bigger viral moment than this that you've currently had so far.
Yeah. Funny mods for games too, like Starfield. Find the most moddable games. Starfield mods are trending a lot right now. So yeah, good luck. That's really awesome. I love that they're using their skill set to do evil.
I think you have a job, Dan, in coming up with funny titles for game mod developments, because those two you came up with were just genius. All right, 403 for a gaming channel now. And then I promise after this one, we're going to mix things up, because I forgot that I was going to do that. 25,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
This one. Whoa, you've thrown us straight into a video there.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, hold on. Let's play that again.
We are in the wrong place. We are in the wrong place.
Oof, that noise.
I don't like that noise.
All right, MrFury. Again, after auditing channels now for 7 years, I still always get this mixed up. Is it Friday nights at Freddy's or 5 nights at Freddy's? I don't know.
5 nights.
Right.
It was even a movie now.
Good. Still not going to watch it.
It's pretty good. Okay.
Right. So the immediate thing is here, I'm seeing 25,000 subscribers, long form content, typically less than 500 views. Let's just check shorts. Okay, so let me check. Are they a short? So they're a long form creator, Dan, but they've had significant success with shorts so far. Yeah, I thought they'd have maybe at least one video with millions of views.
Yeah.
So this is a typical struggle, maybe, of transitioning, trying to get into maybe they've monetized through shorts and now they want to try and get some ad revenue from long form content.
Yeah. So I will say, when we watched their video, the audio quality was not great. I think, especially if you're going to do a lot of content where you're screaming because you're nervous, scared, whatever, you want to make sure your mic settings are set such that the screaming won't actually blow out your microphone. And it sounds
be intentional for this.
It could be intentional, but like, if you're always at that level, like, you probably want to change the gain settings on your microphone. So yeah, that was like just one thing there. I like these thumbnails a lot.
Yeah,
like,
they're good.
They did a really good job of separating themselves from the background, and good reactions, and all that's working very well. A month ago, wow, a lot of videos, I think, in a short amount of time here as well. So this could just be a matter of like, keep uploading. Let's see. The new Five Nights at Freddy's remaster is scarier than the original. Okay, I think that's kind of intriguing. If you enter this place, you won't come out alive. Five Nights at Freddy's. It's hard to say. There's a lot right going on here.
Yeah, the one suggestion I have here is you've had incredible success with shorts. Your long form videos are typically 10 minutes or longer. Have you tried experimenting with just very short long form videos? And that could be something that's maybe a minute 20, minute and a half, maybe something that's even 40 seconds long. I'm just wondering if your talents or your skill set isn't yet fully formed to the point where you can keep an audience's attention for a longer period of time. So is it worth experimenting with some relatively short long form videos? Because people do watch your shorts, but typically, are they going to commit to the same creator for 10, 20 minutes if it's like a same game, but perhaps a very different premise.
If you were to play other games too, it looks like there's Roblox and stuff, but you're playing like really popular games. Maybe are there games that are really interesting? They have a really, really interesting concept about them, but they're not trending as hard. Maybe you can kind of be a trendsetter. You're not relying on the game's title to get the views. You're relying on something the game does that's different. And you're like, this horror game does blank or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud, but yeah, I think this Five Nights at Freddy's, Roblox, scary games, like these are all very competitive. And so I'm just trying to think of other ways you could stand out. I'd be trying all kinds of stuff.
So what game is this? Poppy Playtime.
That's also a very popular one.
Their top 5 videos, I think, are all Poppy Playtime. So, and what is it? What are their latest videos? Let me just check. Hang on. Let me just change that. Don't think they're playing that. They haven't played that for a while. So they had traction with that game, Dan, and then they've moved away from it.
Yeah. Which is interesting. It's tough. They're really good titles and thumbnails, I would say. I would keep looking and doing research. I keep trying new things. I would keep looking for trending horror games, or even games that, like I said, have a cool concept, but maybe they're not necessarily trending. But yeah, could it be like what I said earlier with when people click on the video, if the microphone's always blown out, for example, if it starts off a little too hot, like are people clicking and then clicking away very fast, and then it's messing up your retention so bad the videos aren't spreading.
All right, let's clear out the forms just for a last couple of audits. We're gonna go with the hashtag way of doing things, where we just pick somebody in the chat. So
goodbye live chat.
I reckon we should have hashtag Bill Gates.
Okay.
As our hashtag. All rejoice.
I'm not going to argue.
The Gates. Hashtag Bill Gates. You only need to put it once in the chats, and you'll start to see the entrance tot up. And this is allowing us to randomly pick a channel to audit, because we know the people commenting now are actually in the live stream, whereas people who submitted in the form may have left. So all of you lovely people have an extra chance. So let's draw the first one here. See if I can get my drum roll correct. Have I timed this? No.
No,
I haven't. Runaway Rowells.
Keep in mind, if you post Bill Gates multiple times, it doesn't add extra entries. It only works once.
I found the channel. They have 355 subscribers. 200. Sorry, I'm laughing at this thumbnail. Help!
Yeah, right.
I'm on a drone. What am I going to do? Panic.
It is pretty funny.
Okay, Travis, let's have your immediate thoughts here.
I kind of wish that they didn't use the same words in the title and thumbnail. I've talked about that before. You have an opportunity. You have 2 opportunities to get words across to your viewer. One's the title, one's the thumbnail, and you use the same exact thing for both. That's a waste of at least one of them. You also don't necessarily need words on your thumbnails, so just always keep that in mind. But there's multiple times where you've done the exact same thing. Is London worth visiting? Is London worth visiting? Okay, well, you said that the first time. It'd be interesting to have some other kind of thing, like you should see this in the thumbnail, like something different, gives context to everything else. So definitely stop doing that. Stop putting the same title in your thumbnail.
I would also ask for this one, Travis, like for what type of traveler or person?
Yeah.
Because I assume they're a van life type of channel in the UK. So I think what would add more context here is, okay, is it worth visiting London in a camper van where you've got like all sorts of traffic concerns? I know there's like I'm going to just call it a pollution tax. They charge vehicles to drive into a certain part of the city. Adding more audience awareness to the packaging would help as well. Sorry to interrupt, but that jumped to mind when I saw that.
No, I agree. That was actually going to be the next thing I was going to say, which is like, what is the post of the channel? Yeah. So it looks like
try to address it there.
What is ULEZ?
It's ULEZ is the acronym for the charge for people driving into London.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and then there's like lost his phone, which, it looks like it's kind of like a shorter video or whatever. Okay. But I think at the end of the day, like trying to figure out who's going to continue to come back to your channel based off of the type of content you're bringing in. It seems like you are, you're the camper type channel, which is fine. But when we just randomly look down here, that's not always obvious. And I think that like if you really double and triple down on that, you will have a lot more success based on that.
I mean, if you look at the highest ranked videos, you have more context in the thumbnail and the title, certainly, compared to just like the average thumbnail and title. Dan, I'll give you final words, and then we'll pick another channel quickly.
I think you guys definitely covered it. The fact that it's a van life channel was not clear in those latest thumbnails, and once you pointed out the avatar, I'm like, oh wow, that's like, big missed opportunity. I would say. I think you should always come from that angle of like, I'm doing a thing and I live in a camper van, or I'm traveling in a camper van of some kind.
Okay, let's pick another channel. Where do I press a button? All right. Now. I think I got it right this time. I think I got it right. No, it's still too early. I present to you now. Oh, no, I'm not going to find it searching in Google search. Is that the channel? Yes, I believe it is. And they are called Malayali Addiction. Apologies if I pronounce your name slightly incorrectly there. Minecraft channel with long form videos and a few shorts. We've had a couple of breakout videos there with the shorts, Minecraft, but I can't do something. I think that's a series that you can almost play on repeat and just come up with as many ideas as you can. Like, how about Minecraft, but everyone's Bill Gates? Can we have that as an idea?
Minecraft, but every block is Bill Gates.
Minecraft, but every block is a Windows 95 theme tune.
Every time you mine one, every time you step on one, replace every sound.
I don't know if this is Windows, but do you know where that sound effect is from, Travis? By the way, I'd like.
That sounds familiar. I'm not 1,000% sure.
I think it's like an ancient 1980s Macintosh.
It's gotta be.
No, anyway. Sorry,
Dan,
you
might be right. Yeah.
So sidetracks. What are we talking about?
So definitely a Minecraft channel, but they have not been at it for very long. 8 videos total, so including the shorts, I assume. They're doing really good for such a competitive space. First of all, the thumbnails are pretty much awesome.
Solid.
There's tweaks I would make to these, but nothing detrimental, I think, to the video's success. I trapped my best friend in the most cruel SMP. That's kind of interesting. The trapdoors, I think you could have gotten a closer image. I would have tried, if you have thumbnail testing, I would try that thumbnail with a couple other of concepts. For example, what if you had one that was like, I don't even know how to explain this. Like you kind of sliced the ground, and so you could see that someone was trapped, and it's like a split screen thumbnail. They're trapped down here, and then at the top you can see that there's something above them keeping them from getting out. So they're looking up. That, kind of like Dream used to do with his thumbnails, kind of like that. I would try a couple different variations of these thumbnails, because this is really just going to be about getting the idea across in a very hyper competitive space. So I think they're doing a lot of cool stuff. I think they should continue experimenting with ideas. Title thumbnails, good. Let's think about different ideas for trying to just make yourself stand out. Very, very difficult to do in the Minecraft side of YouTube.
Do you hear that, folks? That is the music to indicate that we've come to the conclusion.
Oh.
Magnificent week. Channel audits. It could continue, but it is currently now 32 degrees in this studio, and
You must be freezing.
Roasting, and also England are playing football soon, and I need to watch them put in another terrible performance. I hope you've enjoyed the audits this week and you found them very useful. As we always try to emphasize, if your channel didn't get audited this week and you've learned nothing, then you're doing this live stream wrong, because we use channels as a canvas for YouTube conversation and strategies. And you should have learned some stuff from all of the channels that we've spoken about this week. Don't forget to try out that incredible tool that we showed you earlier, the Outliers tool, which is currently showing you outliers for beginner 3D printer guys, which is something that we covered earlier on. There is a link in the description, and of course the QR code has been on screen for the entire live stream. I hope you've scanned it at some point. Which leaves me with the outros. First, let's give Travis 20 seconds.
Well, just to, am I frozen?
You are frozen.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm having all types of problems over here. Anyway, if you are really interested, that's really great. If you're really interested in this whole thing about whether or not you should purchase views and or use the promo tab, we got a video coming out this week, so make sure you check it out.
Dan, I will give you 20 seconds to say nothing as you always do.
I didn't prepare for this or anything. Can I just be frozen too?
Nicely done. Nicely done. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back next week. As always, I hope you enjoy your wonderful creative week. Take care. Bye for now.